let's talk about some patient-related tasks in ACE. We're going to start with consent form tracking. Consent forms should be on file for all active patients. Occasionally, a clinician may take consent forms to their first appointment and forget to return them to the administrative team. Tracking of consent forms is done by means of a patient report. So begin by navigating to the patient section of the application and clicking on the Patient Reports button. Next, you'll locate the All Patients No Consent Forms report. Select All Clinicians and click the Run Report button. The report will load. The report for missing consent forms will be grouped by therapist. It will indicate the patient status, patient name, and any status notes for the patient. The administrative user will need to utilize the form appropriately to determine why the consent forms are missing. Once consent forms for the patient are obtained, the user should navigate to the Funding Source tab of the patient record and click the On File on the Referral Information checklist. This will remove the patient from appearing on the report. Additionally, once consent forms are obtained, the user should enter the PHI status reflected on those consent forms on the General tab of the patient record. If the PHI is restricted, the user should enter the manner in which the PHI is restricted in the Patient Notes field. Now let's talk about tracking the Statement of Financial Responsibility. Statements of financial responsibility, also known as contract for services, should be on file for all active patients that have a funding source that includes self-pay or private insurance. Tracking of these statements of financial responsibility or contract for services is also done by means of a report. Navigate to the Patient section of the ACE application and click on the Patient Reports button. Next, locate the Active Missing Statement of Responsibility report and select All Clinicians and then run the report. The report will load. The report for the missing statements will be grouped by therapist. It will indicate the patient status as well. The administrative user will need to utilize the form appropriately to determine why the statements are missing. Once the Statement of Financial Responsibility, also known as the Contract for Services, for the patient is obtained, the user should navigate to the Funding Source tab of the patient record and click the On File on the Referral Information checklist to remove the patient from appearing on the report. This concludes the instructions related to consent forms and statements of financial responsibility within the administrative portal of ACE. For further information, feel free to watch the video again and pause as necessary. Additionally, you may consult the written administrative ACE manual for detailed instructions and screenshots related to specific features and tasks.